Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Harebrained Games. Today we're going to take a look at a game I like to call Charioteer. Why do I like to call it that? Because that's actually what its name is. It's a race for glory in ancient Rome by Matt Calkins, who is, I think this is his second installment of games for GMT. I think one was Seka, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it was a Japanese set game. This is a 2 to 6 player game in which you are simply going around a track 3 times to see if you can beat someone. It's a simple racing game, but how simple is it? I mean, there must be more to it. It's a GMT game. Well, let's take a look in the box and see. Okay, let's see what comes in Charioteer Race for Glory in Ancient Rome. You get a very, very large racetrack, which is nice. It's two different sections put together to form one, so you've got lots of room. There's no having to squeeze your horse in on any given way. I actually really like I wasn't sure at first, but I really like the lengthy board. You get a huge pile of cards that sit here. You can divide them into 2 stacks if you want. Everybody gets a player card. They're pretty thin, but they do the job. They do fine. And then they got 4 different tokens for the different types of actions you're going to play on your turn. A little legend to explain some of the icons that you can use, damage track, etc. And everybody gets 5 different one-time use tokens on their turn. We've set up for a 3-player game here for that. You have the Emperor die, lap track, damage, which is blue, the manual, which is not very lengthy at all. It's actually like a few short pages. It's 12 pages, and that includes designer notes. So you got the per die, you've got these tiles here that you can get. You can accrue these, and they'll basically give you one-time bonuses you can use during the course of play. They do various things based on what icons are represented in them. And that's it. That's what comes in Charioteer. Now let's play a game. Okay, the object of the game in Charioteer, to no surprise of anyone, is to win by getting around the track once, twice, 3 times a lady. Once, twice, and then 3 times. As you go around the laps, you're going to contend with other charioteers in a variety of ways, but the ultimate goal is to win. There are ways to do that. You'll notice that we have the crowd cards. The crowd is going to give you kind of what they want. This is the card they want. They want to see somebody doing an action that meshes with these icons here, one of these 3. You'll notice that the cards are... They've got this side, which is great if it's in your hand, because then you can fan your cards and see instantly what to play, because these are very simple cards. But then for the larger crowd here that needs to see things far away, you've got the nice larger icons. You've got the Emperor die, which I just rolled, and the Emperor, if you happen to play a move or do a move action that matches that color, you're going to get to advance your track, which we'll see in a moment, up 1 space. But let's get into that. Now, before the game begins, everyone's going to take one of these skill cards. This is a one-time configuration. There's a lot of different varieties here. You look and you go, oh, attack. Okay, so attack goes here, and then sprint, not T-Mobile, corner, and recover. Now, why does that matter? Because you have to go up the skill track to get into the arena here, where you're going to start getting an extra bonus for that type of move. And then if you get all the way to the end, you're going to stack up really Megatron level ratings. So, and that's it. When you have that, that's done. You put that back in the skill card. Same thing here. We've got our attack. We've got our recover. We've got our corner, and we've got our sprint. So, and the same here finally. So we've got recover, sprint, and attack, and corner. Cool. That's it. That's all the configuration we're going to need to do. These cards go back in the box. They're not necessary. This does play 2 to 6 players, so there's 3 other player mats in there. And then we are ready to roll. Every player starts with 8 cards. This is the thing you do. All the 8 cards have a different set of icons, and they all fuel different types of actions, and you're going to secretly, everyone at the same time, choose an action of 1 to 3 cards on this hand. So let me explain how that goes. Why would you pick some and not the other? Blah, blah, blah. Well, the different actions all have abilities that you can use other than sprint. The sprint cards, the green cards, you're going to find those are 2, 4, and 6. So they're large numbers. Those are the larger numbers, and that means you're going to try and its only purpose is to basically help you try and just rush forward and get ahead. The attack cards, not only do you move forward, and you're not going to move forward as much, but you're going to be able to apply damage to other people. And when you damage them, it's going to slow them down. And then you have the recover action, which is going to let you take half of your damage and get rid of it while you're moving, again, slower. And then the corners are probably the most interesting thing. When you have cards like this with the cornering thing, notice in the track that you've got this normal, you've got all of these, you've got a long way to go 3 ways around. When you get to the corner, however, if you do use a regular move of any kind, you're going to have to go like zigzag, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves, for example. If you use a corner action for your move, instead, you get to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So corner actions are specifically used to try to help you get ahead in the corners, which can be very pivotal. And then there's a few other special actions that we'll go over them later. Let's start by looking and going, okay, the crowd wants to see recovery or cornering, which isn't really all that valuable for the first move, but that's okay. But if you do a speed move, you get to advance farther on your own personal skills track. So for blue, we're looking here going, I don't have anything 4, 4, 0, but I have zeros. I could do that. So I'm going to play up to 3 cards. You can play 1, 2, or 3 cards. So with the crowd card combined, you can get 4. So we're going to play these here, and we can choose to also play one of these one-time use tokens to boost our movement even more. Are we going to do that? We're not going to do that yet. So we're going to secretly choose that, and then it's time for pink, and pink looks and goes, you know, I have 4, 4... okay, I've got 4, 2, 3. Darn, it's so close. All right, we're going to use these 2 cards. And then here, we're going to look and go, now you have to have 2, they have to match. You have to have at least 2 cards, either combined with your crowd card, that add up to have the same number and the same color. In this case, we're not looking real great, other than we can play, you know what, we're going to play these. We could do, actually, no, let's do this. We're going to do this. Yes, we're going to do this. We're going to play these 3 cards, and what the heck, we're also going to play this. All right, we begin. So now everyone's chosen their move. Now we resolve it. Whoever's in the lead horse goes first, and then it goes all the way till the last person. That said, on the first turn, we're just gonna go with the starting player blue in clockwise order. So what do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yellow icons. Recovery is kind of pointless here. There's no damage yet, but I like what I'm just, yeah. Don't look at me for strategy. Just look at me for nominal explanation. So with these, we count up the number of icons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, add them to the number inside those icons, 0. 6 plus 0 is 0. So blue is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, look at that. All right, takes the lead. And then, because he used a yellow move, he can move his yellow skill token up 1, getting closer in where he can start adding 1 to each of his moves that he makes that are recovery actions. Cool. All right, number 1. Number 2, what do we have? We have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 icons of 4 plus 4 is 9. Gets to move 9 spaces. Now, if we could have gotten, the beautiful thing, the sad part is if we could have gotten 6 icons, if you can use 6 or more, you get one of these bonus tokens. I was so close. I'm so sad. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 plus 4 is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9. All right, and there we go. And again, they use the yellow, so gets to move up 1. Didn't use the bonus space there, but oh well. All right, and finally, we're at yellow. And what is yellow going to do? What can yellow do for you? Yellow is... Wait a minute, why did I play? Oh yeah, I played these 3. Okay. So we're going to do... That was actually not the right move. I'm not going to use that card because you have to have them correspond. I would have had to use the 2s all the way across, and so not the special one. My bad. Anyway, that's what happens when you video and try to play a game at the same time, and you're me. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3 icons. 3 6s, so 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 5 is 14. 14, my friends. Of course, this is now used, so it's out of the game. 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But it isn't a corner moon. 12, 13, 14. So he's stuck on the corner here. So that's, he kind of didn't get the most optimal move, but that's okay, because tomorrow is another day. However, because of his using, he used the green, and so because the Emperor says you can use green, he goes up not 1, but 2. Now, whenever he does a green action, he's going to get an extra point to move. And there you go. And that's the end of the turn. So now we're going to go move this away. This goes out. These go forward. So you always get to see what the crowd's looking for. You get a little bit of premonition in that regard. You roll the dice. And that means anybody's going to get a level up no matter what they do. And then everybody draws up to 8 cards. So 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And again, you're not showing these in real life to your opponents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So now we're set up and we are ready to continue on. Now this time we're going to do it a little bit differently. Everyone's still going to do simultaneously, but we're going to go in order of who's farthest along on the track. All right, so let's do... so we're looking for green. The crowd wants to see green. They want to see green really bad, but I just don't think I want to do that. I want to punch somebody. All right, so we're going to do this, and I think we're going to stop there. So we're going to use that. And then for pink is looking going, I don't really have a lot. I'm not going to be behind. This is a really cool thing, but not if you're, only when you're way behind. This is a catch-up mechanism. Don't let it fool you. You're not fishing for trout. So let's do 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Or we can do one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we don't get the 6th. All right, we're gonna save this one for later, and we're gonna just use one. We're gonna see how that goes. We got 3 laps, so it's not like you're already. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon, right? Anyway, and then for yellow, we're gonna do a corner move. Yes, we want to do a corner move. Corner moves are cool. All right, so we're good to go. Everyone reveals. And here we go. Now again, we're going to go yellow first. Yellow's in the lead. Yellow has 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 2 is 6. Now this is cool. Instead of having to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Very nice. And not only does it get to go forward 1 on the track, but because of the Emperor's special ability, everybody gets to go double. Look at that. So that's cool. And then we have pink go next. Pink only has 1, 2, 3. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 is going to be it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So not a corner move, so what do you do? All right. And since it was the green goes up 2. All right, we're closer to getting a little extra bonuses. And finally we have our friend blue, who started off so strong. 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 1 is 5. 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, damage, if you have, and you'll see in the legend here, if you have 3 damage, then everybody takes a minor damage. If you have 4, they take a major. So now they're going to take 2 damage. You can only take up to 3 on any given turn, but it can accrue over time. All right. And there we go. And up to, now red, 1, 2. Look at that. Now when we damage, we're going to get to damage. We're going to move even farther when we choose to damage people. You know what, Rich? Wounded get woundeder, etc., etc. Okay, and there we are. That's where we are at. That's another round goes by, and we go 1, 2, so then we move the damage in here, and then we discard this card. Ooh, someone got injured on the track, didn't they? All right. Now we roll the dice again. Oh man, that's damage. That means damage. Darn it. So the Emperor has, based on the player count, everyone's going to have to take a certain amount of damage, and that's all listed here in the Manual, I forget the player count. I've played so many different player counts that I'm like, which honestly, yeah, there you go. So 2 players, 3 players, 2 damage. So everyone's going to have to potentially take 2 damage. I guess the Emperor's not very impressed, but oh well, that's what happens in Rome. All right, so there we go. So nobody's going to level up. Emperor's kind of pissed. All right, so now we go again. Everyone's going to choose their cards after we go back up to 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I don't think I'm going to do too much more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So I've kind of explained, I mean, what you're seeing is really like everything you're going to do on your turn for the like all 3 laps. You're going to get obviously faster with these bonuses over time. But let's show you what happens for damage. Let's just do one more turn, shall we? So right now we're looking for, the crowd wants to see either damage or recovery. I don't need to worry about recovering right now. Well, the damage here is an incoming, and the damage incoming on your turn takes effect the following turn. So we're blue. So let's do, oh, I love this. This is perfect. We'll do this. All right, we're going to play these black cards here. All right. Then we're going to here, also in the turn, only 5. Dang it. Recovery. Let's do recovery, because we can pair it with that card. All right, and finally, yellow. Yellow just wants some speed. Can yellow get some speed? Yellow's going to play this. Yeah, it's going to play this and this for the zeros, which is not great. But all right, so then we reveal, and this is what happens. Now, yellow's going to go first. Oh, wait, let's do this. Let's add this here token. And just because we want to compensate here, we want to get forward. This means these special icons show up on, whenever you see them, they can be from these tokens, they can be from square tokens that you earn from this bag, or they can be on the cards themselves. This basically shields you from damage. So we're safe this turn from this damage, I believe. Double check, but we still have residual damage that we're going to have to account for. So 0, 1, 2. So 3 plus 0 is 0. Plus 5 is 8. 7, 6. So 6 is what you get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's still not bad. Used up that turn, but at least it got us through the dark times, the perilous times. And with that done, then because we did a black move, we go up here. I mean, generally don't want to use your corner, and so you want to use the green cards as much as you can to try to get as far as you can. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plus 0 is 0. So you at least get to go 5 minus 2 is 3. So 1, 2, 3. It's a little farther. Again, these are not awesome turns yet. But we have here, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We won't get the bonus, the square bonus, but if for example, let's just show you an example. If this was here and I had matched up here, I'd get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tokens. That's it. Oh, crowd really loves it when you do that. So you're going to get any token from the bag, and this one's going to say, oh, you can use this on your turn and you'll get half your damage reduced. Yay, and that's over with. Or, there's a bunch of different other things like, oh, you can use your whip to whip the horse. Nah, poor horse. Anyway, in this case, that's not what's happening, so we don't get the bonus, but you do get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 curve points. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 5, when you match up with a horse and you have to basically go down. It stacks up. So this is first and this is second. So 5, you can't just go on and pass them. You have to actually go down the train. So if there were 3 horses here, you'd have to go 1, 2, 3 and use up your moves. When you get there, you use up your moves. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So basically he's taken over the lead, which is nice. And because it's black, it goes up 1, So it's closer and closer. So we're getting there. And then we discard, and we're going to continue on. Now let's just go over a couple more things. Some of these tokens let you discard extra cards so that when you draw back up, if your hand really stinks, and you're like, well, I'm going to play these 2 for my turn, but I'm also just going to get rid of these 3 because I don't see using them. You can do that once a turn, and then you can basically cycle back up a lot of cards, get a lot of cards through your hand. Damage is, again, you can do a reset move that basically says, I'm not moving one bit, but I'm going to get rid of all my damage and stuff, and that's fine. This you use after your turn. If you are behind, you can use this to move up to 5 spaces. Even on the curve spaces, you can move the inner ones. The thing is, you can't pass anybody. So if you're way behind, it's great because it gives you basically a 5-move boost to try to get back in position. But you can't pass anybody. So that's kind of the way that works. And that's really the game. And you guys are just going to hunt around once. Once we get to the finish line past it, we flip this. Everyone's going and going. And again, once you start getting your tracks to here, if you however you go up and around, like when you say you get the speed move, say you get the damage move here. Well, that means that every time you do a red move, you're going to get an extra 3. If you get here, you get extra 5. So basically, it's going to start accelerating over time to get you up until you're basically kicking butt and flying around the track to get to first. Whoever finishes first is going to win. If people finish during that turn at the same time, whoever gets farther past the finish line wins, etc., etc. And that's really Charioteer in a box. Now let's get into my final thoughts. Okay, final thoughts on Charioteer, Race for Glory in Ancient Rome. Let's go over, as always, the cons first, followed by the pros, followed by my final thoughts. As for the cons, well, they are legion. No, they're not. I just like using that because it's a Roman for legion. Anyway. There isn't a lot I dislike about Charioteer. There's a couple things to note. There's one color error on one of the player aids, just FYI, where the color doesn't match like it should. No big deal. The manual is very simple. Like, it's 12 pages, which means you're not getting, depth of simulation here at all. I actually almost recommend people read the manual backwards to forwards, because once you read the designer notes and you kind of get the feel for what he was trying to accomplish, then you go to read a page over to the victory conditions, then go to the front and start reading. You'll find everything you need. I had very, very nominal questions. This is not a deep, a nuanced kind of game, and so you're not going to have to worry about a lot of cross-referencing. It still would have been nice maybe to have at least one sort of player placard that kind of gave the summary of everything in detail. So mostly that doesn't matter in groups where you're avidly playing GMT games, a little more when you're introducing us to newer people who are more casual, which honestly you can do. The other thing is, if the expectation you have is that you're going to have this raucous, dark, gritty, Mad Max kind of chariot racing thing, you're probably not going to like the distillation and the simplification of the damage idea. This is a game where you apply global damage modifiers when you do a damage move. That means that if you're looking for, like, hey, I want this upgrade on my chariot, and when they go by, I want to throw this card. If you're expecting this to be a cross between Ben-Hur and Mario Kart, this isn't how it's going to roll. So be in mind of that. The damage part, I'm not going to lie, I thought that, I wish the damage part had a little bit more pizzazz to it, but I understand why in the great scheme of the game and the flow, why they made the trade-offs they did. Why the damage markers are blue and not red, I don't know. There's probably some reason for that, but I'm not a Smurf, so I didn't feel, any danger with the blue cubes. But anyway, these are tiny, tiny niggles. And now we get to my favorite part, which is the pros. Charioteer is very, very, very good at all player counts for almost all audiences, and that's a rarity. That's just a wonderfully rare thing for GMT. GMT, it excels at the deeper simulations, the deeper strategy games. Lots of, and there's the of course there's the Leaping Lemmings and all that stuff. But in general, they tend to do more in the way where I'm like, oh, this will be great for my GMT guys. This game is great for everybody. It just is. Like, this is so stinking easy to teach, so smooth. The 4 moves all have relevance. They make it. They've done so much work and thought into making this such a simple game to go around a track. You look at that track at first and you're like, man, this game is going to take forever. With two people, it's going to take 30, 45 minutes at most, and you're going to enjoy it. It actually works well with two players. Because usually when you have big racing games, you want 4 or 5. You want to get that jostling. And admittedly, I think that's the sweet spot. But at 2 players, you're still going to get jostling. You're still going to have ways, mitigation factors, ways to do stuff. I love the fact in racing games, one of the things that I don't like, or that kind of saddens me, is when you have a racing game and it comes down to die rolls, where it's not determined by you, it's determined by you roll a dice, you move as far as you can. Maybe you won, maybe you didn't. It wasn't really up to you. Maybe there's a way to kind of bend it and move it nothing more. I mean, there are games that do decent. I mean, Formula Day, it's a classic, and it does it. But it does it by saying, shift gears, and then the range of movement becomes higher or lower. So at least you've got that, but you don't have that precision that you have here. Here you've got this interlaced system of different inputs, all of which you have awareness of and control over. The crowd factor is huge. Like, how do you bring the crowd into it? Because the crowd is such a big thing when you're watching the Ben-Hur styles, the Roman stuff. The crowd is the big, home court advantage or disadvantage is huge. Not only do you get to see what the crowd wants, you get to see what the fickle crowd is going to want next and after that. And so you have all that foreknowledge. And then you add it to a hand of cards where you literally get to decide what to do. Yes, you are limited. You can't just do whatever you want. You're limited to certain subsets of decisions, but you could make decisions. You could go, you know what? I see coming down the pike that I can do a really, really sweet move with those 2 cards in my hand and that card that's coming up next in the crowd noise. And then, yay. So instead, I'm going to take a weenie move now and play 1 or 2 cards. They don't really boost me much, but whatever. Or, and then sort of you're jockeying position how you want to play the game with a real sense of strategy here. This isn't just ready, set, bet, which is another classic and another great game in its own right. But it's not when it's just like I'm following along, and occasionally I'll maybe try and get some input. Maybe the fates will be with me, etc. That doesn't happen here. You have a lot of input into the decisions. The skill track as well is simple. It's very simple. But yeah, you have the emperor. The emperor going, this is what I want. I want to see blood. I want to see people recovering. I don't know of any emperor that. I don't think Caligula would ever want that die rolled. Or I just want to attack and damage you guys. Ha ha. And then and you go, okay, well, if I do this move that's not necessarily optimal intrinsically, but I'm gonna boost my skill level so that instead of getting 7, 8 moves at a time, I'm gonna get 7, 8 plus this one, or if I get to the end of the track, plus 3, plus 5, plus 7, plus 9. Suddenly you are being able to do these mass build-ups to mass moves and being able to get through stuff. But at the same time, you do get bogged down. You got people in front of you. You can't just zip past them. It's not Daytona. You're gonna have to go, make your way through, kind of fight through and stuff to get around the track. And it does. It feels like time goes by really quickly because your actions, especially because they're mostly simultaneous, they're simultaneous in choice and sequential in execution. But again, you're looking for these fun little sweet combos of, oh man, oh cool, I got 6 icons. I'm gonna get a special bonus. Ha ha! I know what to do now. The little whip thing is hilarious. If you can pull that off at just the right moment and you're way behind and you're like, meh, let's just do this. Move up and try it. It's the rubber banding like Mario Kart. We're all racing games where they kind of rubber band just to kind of keep it competitive. But yeah, that's what you get in the box of Charioteer. You get a really fun feeling chariot race where you get a lot of input in how you move. You get to use your special there's because those special abilities you come with on your turn. You get your little tokens. You get to decide when's the best time to just burst through. I mean, can you do a mega move? Or you have a lot of damage, and you're like, do I use this mega move to compensate for damage, or do I just bite the bullet, do a recovery action, knock off half my damage, and hope nobody damages me? Or, hey, here's a card I can play that's going to shield me from damage. I'm okay with 2 damage right now. I can make it another turn. Do all of these things play in your mind, and the thing is, this game is so simple to teach, so simple to explain, so simple to execute, that people can actually focus on the strategy. And it's not a crapshoot. It's a real, you will win, you will go like, yeah, no, I'm glad I made that choice going into that turn. I'm glad I saved these cards for this. I'm glad I jettisoned these cards to get more cards because then I got this. Or agony of defeat, like, oh man, if I should have done this, I should have done that. And it's all about I should have done, not the game put me into this position of. So, the art is great. I mean, it's very simple. Cards are as simple as you can possibly get. Again, as a solitaire guy, this isn't going to work out. This is definitely needing two. But the fact that a racing game plays surprisingly well at two, and I don't feel like I'm playing a shell of a game wishing for more or looking for ways to imbue a bot, that's incredible. This is a nice surprise. Like I've been surprised by a lot of games this year, and this one I kind of looked at and went, no solo play. 6 players, how often is that going to happen? But once I realized that this game can actually be played by non-GMT folks, by anybody, really, and understand it, grok it, and have a good time, it really opens up the opportunity. So if you have a chance for this, and you like a light, simple, fun fare that I enjoy as a GMT, avid GMT player, but that my wife enjoyed, who doesn't play, this is probably maybe her 3rd GMT game and the one she liked the most, give it a shot. Charioteer. I would give it an 8 right now, just on the basis of how much I'm going to get it to the table, how fun it is to play, how easy it is to teach. So that's what we got. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Harebrained Games.